All right. Well, we do have our next guest on the phone, by the way. And how many words can I use to describe our next guest? Chanteuse, raconteur, moppet, bon vivant. She's creative. She's witty.
Apparently 4 was the limit on how many different.
She's smart, amiable, perspicacious.
Perspicacious?
Which means observant
Yes.
and perceptive, okay?
I thought it had something to do with, like, sweating.
Well, I don't know. She doesn't sweat. She doesn't break a sweat. It's everything's easy to her. She's sweet-tempered, that's for sure. Foxy, darn right. Alluring, you betcha. Adroit, yes, which means she's very able or skilled.
Erect?
Is somebody IMing you these words?
Oh, wait,
No,
There's way you're just coming off the top of your head with these words.
He's got the dictionary open over there.
Things were a little slow at work, so I brought up the dictionary.
That's all right.
And I said, well, what am I going to, how would I describe Emily? And and hip and talented. And then it was 5 o'clock and I had to go. Otherwise, I would have come up with many, many more words to describe our next guest. Emily Nips, welcome to the Mix Show.
Thank you. That was a very nice intro.
Oh, you're very welcome. Of all the parts, you are definitely my favorite doll part.
Favorite, yay!
Yes. You have a lot of fans. And, I wanted to, before we get into doll parts, and I don't know, never mind. Anyways, it's sort of like, not you personally, but the other girls are sort of like a boil on my ass, and I'll get to that later.
Blood feud.
So, but no, not you.
Okay.
So I was going to bill you. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time because I know that you were a reporter with the St. Petersburg Times. Mm-hmm. I will always call it the St. Petersburg Times. I don't give a rat's ass how many times they changed their name. But what is it, Tampa Bay Times now?
I think it is,
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to get with you on that and discuss a lot of topics in regards to print journalism and media in general. But, you always ignored my instant messages and my emails and things like that. Well, whatever. She's a doll. She's a doll part. She's a doll part, and I guess it's the code of the band is to ignore me.
Yeah, you could get fired if they respond to you.
That's right.
Just be asking to get greased into something, it's...
No, so I saw a recent posting where you're no longer working for the St. Petersburg Times.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've been gone for about 6 months. I took the Times for over 10 years. And then sort of got a wild hair about 6.5 months ago, and decided to throw my resume out there, and I joined Bayfront Medical Center as their PR rep now. So I'm the Bayfront spokeswoman, I guess we can call it. But
how do you speak? How does a spokesperson interact with people coming into the hospital with gunshot wounds from the South Side?
Which is like most of our patients. Well, fortunately, I don't have to do much speaking to them, but I do get a lot of calls from reporters, a lot of them who I used to work with. They always call, want a patient condition update. And I just try to do things for the hospital, like promote some of the good things that they do. They do have a reputation of being a gunshot hospital, but they do a lot of good things too. But it was a really strange transition to make. I miss, I get to do some writing still. I still do some freelance writing, but I work about 2 blocks away from my former office at the time, so that's kind of weird.
So 10 years with the Times?
Mm-hmm. I was at the Tampa Tribune 2 years before that. So it's all I've known up until 6 months ago.
Yeah, and did you see like the writing on the wall?
Well, yeah. I mean, and they published something in Creative Loafing recently and they referred to a lot of journalists, including me, who left before they were laid off. I never thought I was going to get laid off. I was actually. I really liked the Times, and I felt like they really liked me, and I had a really bright future there. But yeah, I mean, working in a newsroom just isn't what it used to be, like in the 80s. It's not as glamorous. It's you have a lot of people that the users are smaller, and you're watching your colleagues at other newspapers get laid off, and you're watching your colleagues sitting next to you getting laid off, and it become kind of a drag.
And you're watching papers around the country go under.
Right.
Papers that have been around for 150 years are now ceasing publication, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Because
look at the Tampa Tribune. I don't know what's going on with the Tampa Tribune. I don't know what their future is, but I would be very scared if I was working there right now. I really don't know. I used to work there. A lot of people I used to work with don't work there anymore. Most of them got laid off.
Yeah, I've been hearing for the past 5 years, and of course the Tampa Trib keeps coming out saying, no, just a rumor. But I've been hearing we're closing down or we're being sold. We're closing down or we're being sold. And massive layoffs, and they keep coming out saying, no, that's not true. And I'm thinking, come on, seriously, something, just, I don't know. You're in the truth business, for God's sakes. Tell us what's going on.
It's almost like papers can't do their own PR, We actually brought that up. We're like, why don't we do better PR for newspapers? Because everybody out there knows that we're struggling. And you get the feeling, too, that a lot of people are rooting against you.
It is weird because, of course, I'm over 40, so I grew up with papers, being delivered to the house every day. And I had a subscription to the St. Pete Times when I bought my house 13 years ago. And little by little, the Internet has started to just simply creep in and take over. And my wife went and got, when we went to the new house, she went and got the Sunday Times edition delivered every Sunday. And she was talking to me about, well, my subscription's up, and they're offering me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Sunday for some reduced rate or something. What should I do? And I said, you know what? I'm so busy with work and everything, I don't even have time to sit down and read the paper anymore. So I haven't read the Sunday Times in probably 6 to 7 months. So it's so that, and I feel bad about that because I'm from that generation where I love picking up a paper, sitting down in a quiet place, and just reading and getting caught up on what's going on in the world.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I like a publication that has granted you could say that it's slanted left or it's slanted right, but it isn't. But they're still giving me news, as opposed to putting Paris Hilton on the cover. It's just like, so I'm like,
you're gonna get deeper coverage of issues, and you're gonna be smarter for reading the newspaper. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm embarrassed to admit this. I left the Times, and I always had the Times delivered. You kind of have to if you work there, and they actually take it, a couple bucks out of your paycheck every week. If you
Wait! You work there, and they charge you for the paper?
They do. They charge you for the
Not
paper.
even a perk.
Even if you try to cancel the paper, they basically won't let you. So I left.
Wow.
And 6 months later, I'm still getting the newspaper delivered. I don't know who's paying for it because obviously not coming out of my paycheck since I don't get a paycheck from them anymore. But they just keep delivering it. Every morning I still get the paper, and I'm embarrassed to admit a lot of the times the paper goes straight from my driveway to the trash because I don't have time either.
Yeah, my wife and I have a large recycling bin, so we put all the papers in the recycling bin, and we take it to the recycling facility that's like a half a mile away. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, it's strange. There's this shift in our culture, and newspapers that have been around for 100 years, 150 years are closing. You're like, well, wait a minute. It just can't be all internet.
Didn't I just hear that the New Orleans Times Picayune closed up just recently? Yeah, they just went all online.
Yeah, well, they went all online because a couple months ago they were asking their subscribers, they were telling, and their staff, they were saying we're going to go down to 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah. Instead of 7 days a week, where they were only going to publish 3 or 4 days a week. And I guess the shareholders or whoever owns the thing probably said, no, forget it, let's just go internet.
Right. A lot of papers are doing that. They're still kind of holding on to the, a few days, or the Sunday paper. The Sunday paper usually still makes money. And, here's the problem is the newspapers, at least I know this is the case of the Times. That is, the print edition is what makes us money, is selling ads in the print edition.
Yeah.
No newspaper has really figured out. The New York Times is starting to kind of play around with some different business models, but most newspapers still they make their money off of the ads they sell in the print edition. They're trying to come up with creative ways to do ads. That's why you're seeing like the sticky notes on papers now, or front page ads that you didn't used to see before. And they haven't figured out a way to make money off the internet. There's ads on there, but those are dirt cheap. I mean, you can get an ad on the internet or on a paper website for pretty cheap.
Wow.
And so it barely covers the cost of having a web team that works for you. So newspapers have always done really, really well. Even through like the Great Depression, newspapers did well. They've always survived every recession.
Yeah.
And then I think just this last recession, combined with the internet, the rise of the internet, that they were never able to recover. And I hope they figure out a way to recover and keep the print edition alive. But or at least keep enough journalists around where they can put quality.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. I will go to the internet if I know that there's going to be quality reporting done. I'll follow you. I will follow the person who is doing all the creative reporting. Even if they decide not to go on paper and it's on the internet, fine. I'll seek you out and I will get my news from you. But it drives me nuts. I'm working and I periodically, when I take a mental health break, I go to like Yahoo or CNN and I look at news stories there, and everything is just so entertainment driven, and I'm just who cares?
Well, I know I'm old enough that, and I'm sure Mick remembers this, that St. Pete used to have two papers. St. Petersburg. There used to be an Evening Independent or something, didn't they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That would come out in the afternoon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The evening edition.
The Clearwater Sun.
Clearwater Sun.
There you go. So, I mean, they're all just kind of fallen by the wayside, it seems like, and I don't know that that's necessarily good, especially for the local stuff. The national stuff you can get online. You can find plenty of opinions about what's going on and hard news story, but the local stuff... I
don't want an opinion. I want facts.
I understand that on the national stuff, but on the local stuff, you get no coverage at all.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. And it's scary because a lot of people are getting their news from blogs. Like, they don't know the difference between a newspaper and a blog.
Yeah.
They'll just read what they want to read, They'll just watch Fox News, They won't actually read something. I mean, most newspapers have one slant or another, and every reporter has an opinion, I think it's impossible to be completely unbiased. But I think newspapers really strive to get a balanced product in the newspaper, and like I said, blogs and a lot of TV stations don't really strive for that. They're going for audience. They're going
they need ratings.
Right.
Well, then again, back in the day, ever since television started, the news divisions always lost money. The networks always made their money off daytime and evening programming, and they sunk that money into producing the best newscast that they could. So news never made money, and it was never intended to make money. It was intended to be the best at what they do. So they always had, so you had the Cronkites and the Harry Reasoners and the John Chancellors.
They had to. That was part of their license.
But then the bankers took over, these corporations took over, and the shareholders are like, why is this losing money? We need to make money.
Exactly.
So, not only are we going to make money off primetime programming, but we need to make money off the news. And thus you've got Katie Couric and all these other people doing stories about Paris Hilton. You're like, seriously? Come on.
Well, it used to be a public service.
Yeah.
It used to be, what the price that the networks paid for the access to the public airwaves.
Yeah. I thought there was a war going on in Afghanistan, but I could be wrong because I can't find any stories on it.
You don't hear anything about it now.
So I'm just over it, So, when I saw that you had left, I'm like, oh man, what the hell is going on? Because I don't know. I figured if I just bought you a drink at the Emerald, you'd do a nice write-up for the Mick Show and say some nice thing about us,
But you can.
Hell, even if you want to say something bad about me, I don't care. There's no such thing as bad press.
That's right.
Any publicity is good.
For this show, it's fantastic.
So, just
I do miss that power of being able to write a story, and you're a journalist. And now that I'm on the other side, now that I'm on the PR side, I realize how much power newspapers have, I mean, we kind of, I wouldn't say Bayfront lives and dies by how the Times covers us, but we really, it's critical that we get good coverage, or that we get the right, the Bayfront is getting ready to make a big announcement in the next month or two, which I can't share, but it's big to us, and it has to be it's going to be political, and it's got to be portrayed the right way, and so we have to really be careful about how we talk to the Times about it, and it's really interesting on this side to see, to see what journalism looks like, because, journalists tend to think that they are, a little smarter than everyone else.
Right. Yeah.
And then you kind of get on the other side, and you feel like there's just too, it's really hard to, like I said, everybody's got an opinion, and journalists have opinions too, and you got to try to sway them one way or another, and sometimes they can be swayed, and sometimes they can't, and it just becomes kind of a game.
So now if somebody famous was holed up at the Bayfront Hospital, you would be the PR spokesperson for the hospital?
Yeah. I mean, like recently we had, there was a guy in the news, I don't know if you followed this at all, but there was a cemetery owner who went outside because he heard something.
Yeah.
And there was a trooper there that was trying to track down a motorcycle, and the trooper ended up shooting the guy in the leg.
Yeah. And then they found the motorcycle in the woods and all that, yeah.
Right, and he was in our hospital for a couple weeks, and so we got reporter calls daily because everybody wanted to talk to this guy. And then there was a football player, Gibbs High, who also got shot, and he was in our hospital. And so I would actually handle. I think that the kid actually talked to the media, so I spent like all day one day just going up and down the elevator with reporters to this kid's room and setting up interviews.
Okay.
So, stuff like that. But like I said, we try to promote some good things too, that we're doing. We've our pet therapy program. We've got this award ceremony that's happening Friday. I try to get some coverage for that and stuff like that. But everybody wants to talk to gunshot victims, which we have plenty of.
All right, well, here's how it works now. Since you're no longer at the Times, here's my idea. You put out a story that me, the host of the Mick Show, Sic Mic, was recently admitted for penis reduction surgery.
They'll see through that in a heartbeat.
No, because I can show them.
That's good for like the Inquirer or something.
I can show them. And when people call about it, you can say no comment. That's the statement is what it is, and I can't discuss any more. Because they're going to want to ask how much they had to take off. And you just say I'm not at liberty to discuss that. Sic Mic, was tired of being accused of giving pap smears every time he had sex with his wife, and that's all I know. Thank you. Have a good day.
That would be a great story, and it would take the attention off all the gunshot victims.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but a guy named Sic Mic being in the hospital probably wouldn't be much of a story.
She's the creative one. She's got to put the spin on it.
The story. Yeah.
You got to put the spin on it.
A special sauce.
Oh, hey, you know what? My co-host Keith here, he really, really, really let me down. I was wondering if you have access to the hospital. Can you? Now, hang on.
Just say no, Emily. Just say no.
No. This will be a lot easier. Can you get me some like placenta or something like that? Like a bag of placenta?
I don't know. I don't know where they keep the placentas. I guess that would be over in the
refrigerator, probably. I don't know.
Over in the baby place where all the babies.
The baby place. That would be a good place to start. But the thing is I'm really.
I don't know what they do with the placenta.
They throw it away.
Used placenta.
They throw it away, because Keith's other, I don't know what he calls her anymore. The baby mama.
That's it. Yeah.
The baby mama had a baby. The baby mama had a baby.
Are you following?
That makes sense. See, I'm connecting the dots here.
It's all going to come together in the end.
And I was even going to bring in like an igloo cooler with some dry ice, so that when she had the baby, they could just put the placenta like in a Ziploc bag and give it to me. Because what I want to do is I'm totally into stem cell research, and I want to like keep some stem cell. Well, there's trillions of stem cells in that stuff, and I want to be able to keep it in my freezer. And just keep a pack of hypodermic needles on my counter.
And just inject them into his bald spot.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Next thing you know, he'll be growing babies out of there.
So, and I just want to because I see all these wonderful things that happen to people who do stem cell, therapy. And I'm thinking, man, this is great. I'll live another 60, 70, 100 years with this stuff.
Another, yes.
Exactly. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but... Yeah, I mean, some people eat the placenta, and it's supposed to be very healthy.
No. I don't want to eat it. No. I want to just I want to
You
heat.
just want to inject it.
Yeah, I just want to put a little tiny. I mean, just think, one tiny little slice has billions of stem cells, and you just put that in the microwave. You heat it, you thaw it out a little bit.
Microwave.
Yeah, you got to liquefy it, and then you just boop, boop, you stick it in your butt, and you're on your way to work, and you'll never catch a cold.
Are you using a needle for this, or
Yeah.
you just? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
no.
you might just be.
No, it's not a
smearing it on your-
suppository.
I thought
No.
you might just be smearing it on your
No,
finger.
it's not a suppository. No, although
It could probably work.
it could probably work.
It might even work faster.
It might even work faster than a needle. All right, yeah, ask somebody. You're around doctors all day.
Sublingually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of a placenta suppository. All
right.
And again, really, it's penis reduction surgery. That's what it's all about. Put that story out there, because it would help me out a lot. So no, that's good. So all right. So we can't count on the Times now because she's no longer there. I thought that was my conduit, but
I still have connections there, but I don't know.
She has connections there, but I don't know if I really want to introduce them to you.
Journalists require, vetting stories and real sources and that kind of stuff. I mean,
Hey, if they want to come and take a picture, they can take a picture. I'll email them a picture. That's fine. It's fine. I'm cool with that.
as long as they leave him an inch, he'll be all right.
That's it. I'm good. Good to go. So yeah.
Cut it in half.
All right. Every writer has a book in them. What's yours?
Oh, geez. I've never. It's funny. Everyone always, whenever I'd meet people and they found out I was a reporter, they'd always ask, like, "Oh, do you want to write a book?" You'd assume that everybody wants to write a book. I've never had the desire to write a book. I actually used to want to write fiction when I was younger. That was my goal in life, and I really loved writing. And I would always write about, I'd always write about a runaway. I was always obsessed with runaway kids. So maybe if I was going to write a book, it would be about somebody who ran away. But I don't know where to go from there, I have lots of friends that are writing books. I have one friend who's written a murder mystery novel about a woman who kills her date with a bottle of Arbor Mist wine. And I guess if you develop the idea is if you develop the characters enough, the story will just kind of carry itself.
Right.
I don't know that I have the patience or the attention span to write a novel. Maybe one day. I would probably do nonfiction, though. What I really liked about reporting and being a journalist is writing about real things and real people.
Facts.
Yeah.
One thing I always, my editor used to always joke, I loved, one of my favorite topics when I was a reporter was homeless people. I loved interviewing homeless people. I loved writing about homeless people. I just found them very entertaining and just very interesting. And so my boss used to always joke that I'm going to write a book one day called Williams Park, which is a park downtown where it's just all homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
The most bizarre story I ever wrote was I don't know if you guys remember this. There was it's still been in the news recently because the guy's been in court, but it was a guy who runs this website called shefights.net.
Yeah, the bums.
And they were going to recruiting homeless people to come get beat up by these women.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then they would sell the videos online. It was some kind of fetish porn. And I got tipped off by this guy who was a homeless advocate. He used to go down to Williams Park and give food out or bus money, and he noticed all these homeless people walking around with a black eye, broken arm.
Oh my God.
And he started asking what's going on here, and then he started hearing about this guy who's these recruiters that were going and getting these homeless people and bringing them to this guy's townhouse, and they were getting beat up by these women. A lot of them were drunk or mentally ill.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that was one of my favorite stories I ever wrote because it was just so bizarre. And I couldn't believe when this homeless advocate called me and he gave me this tip. I was like, what? And he told me the website, and I looked it up. I was like, this is real. And it's this townhouse. It's right by the Trop.
Huh.
But I really, I used to go. I actually got to know some homeless people, and really just kind of. I used to think I would love to just hang out in Williams Park and just talk to these people and figure out what their lives are. A lot of them I hate to say this, but and some people get mad when, advocates get mad when people say this, but some of them choose to be homeless. They love the freedom of being homeless.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, they're either mentally ill or their lives have been wrecked by drugs and alcohol abuse and God knows what else. And and then there are those who are just like, I can get by just doing this,
Right.
So and
yeah. I mean, I met one guy who was he was actually very normal. He was sort of antisocial. I mean, I can't say he was completely all there, but he was functional, and he just sort of chose he didn't want to really hold down a job, and he didn't want to be, tied to rent, and he lived fine being homeless. I mean, they eat well. They're fed all over the place. There's always places to feed them. There's like the chicken man that comes to Mirror Lake and hands out boxes like chicken lunches, and they'll go to the library and read books, or they'll go to like the free senior center and watch movies. It's not the worst life in the world to be homeless in St. Petersburg.
No, and
I'm really digressing from our original topic, but
no,
that was one of my favorite.
But you're right. Some people do choose that lifestyle.
No, and no. I always thought that Williams Park would make a great reality show.
Oh, totally.
I mean, just take your camera crew down there, and every week you've got somebody to follow around for 30 minutes, and there's a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it is reality TV. I mean,
but it's real reality TV. It's not fake.
Well,
that's
what I want. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to produce, and make some money and not give it to the homeless.
Yeah, that's fascinating. They form relationships. Some of them have kids together. Some of them, there's actual families that are homeless, and they kind of, they have their own little dramas that they play out. And, I won't say that it's great to be homeless. I think some of them have really sad stories. A lot of them are addicts.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, I wrote. It seems like I wrote about a lot of homeless people, especially the last 3 years I was there, and I used to always think like I would love to spend some time like living in Williams Park. I'd probably get raped if something horrible would probably happen to me, but
they would spot you. Yeah, you're just ripe for the picking if you're there. And no, I wouldn't recommend that. I can understand.
Yeah, I've seen journalists before. I think there was a journalist at some other newspaper in another town. I remember saying that they actually went on the street and pretended to be homeless.
Yeah, but are they as cute as you? Come on.
Well, I was wondering that. I was like, I wonder if I could pass. I mean, if I just didn't bathe for like a couple weeks and I don't know. Wore terrible clothes.
No, sorry.
Well,
Eat some chocolate donuts.
No.
Never pick your teeth.
No, I will pass for homeless. You, no way. No way.
Are you kidding me? Wilford Brimley's a big celebrity in St. Pete. You never pass for.
Listen, the mustache is temporary.
Hey, where are those cocoons at, Wilford?
Anyways, don't listen to them. So, all right. So what's going on with doll parts?
Well, we're in a very interesting transition right now.
Another one?
Another one. This is it. I've been in doll parts for almost 3 years, I guess. And it's funny. I joke around that they're like, the Menudo of St. Petersburg, because they've had so many different parts. I'm like their third or fourth bass player. We've been through countless drummers. Stacy, our singer's like she's really our only original, the only original doll part who hasn't left at some point.
Right.
So right now, the latest on the doll parts is our last drummer crapped out on us. She just did not show up to. It was on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, I remember.
She was scheduled, and she just didn't show up either.
Yeah.
Never heard from her again. So we had to kind of regroup. We had some guys that kind of filled in for us. We like being an all-female band, but we've had some really great guys that filled in on drums for us. But right now, Mandy is learning how to play drums, and I am relearning how to play guitar. I originally played guitar before I went to bass, and so I'm playing guitar because that's what Mandy used to play. Susan, who is our backup dancer, singer, she is playing bass, and Stacy's just doing what Stacy does. So we're all kind of relearning, and it's like musical instruments. We've all changed positions, and we really like to play some new songs. I think we're tired of our old stuff. And so we're relearning that. We are playing a show. Let's see, I think it's October 12th. It's a Friday. We're playing a show at Insomniac's in Newport Richey, which we've never been to, but it's always kind of interesting going to new places. And then we're playing November in Miami at Churchill's. And then we're playing in December Barley Mow in Largo. So we've got a few shows planned. I don't think we'll play in our new lineup until that Barley Mow show in December because we're not quite ready for that. We had a bake sale a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see it posted.
I don't know why, but that just struck me as very funny.
It was cute. I mean, it was an actual legitimate bake sale. We had like delicious baked goods that we sold. We made a couple $100. It was fun. And Stacy would like to, start doing little things like that, little fundraisers. I mean, that the money that we made from that, we're going to use to go to Miami because we try not to spend our own money on things if we can help it. But we're not playing a lot of shows right now because we're sort of regrouping, and so we were trying to come up with different ways to make money.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I really, I always tell them I don't know what I would do without that band because it's a great outlet for me. I mean, I feel like I work really hard. I have a pretty serious job, and then I go to practice, and those girls are just ridiculous,
No, I wouldn't know. I never get invited, so I never get invied. Apparently,
well, you can always let me know if you're going to come to the show.
We've heard that a million times before.
But it was just
you never asked me.
That's true.
No, apparently, Stacy and Amanda have this freaking attitude against me, and I don't know what it's about. I have no clue where it comes from.
What happened? I told them I was going on your show, and they were like, they were making some noise about the show. They put on the guest list. You didn't show up.
Well, there was one time that they put me on the guest list, and something had to do with my wife. I forget what it was, but it was like an emergency, and I couldn't make it. So I even called and left a voicemail for Stacy saying, "Hey, I'm not going to make it tonight. I apologize. Can you go ahead and scratch me off and put somebody else on?" And ever since then, it's just attitude.
Wow.
And I'm like, really? Seriously? I haven't played doll parts. I used to play doll parts on my show every week. For a year and a half I've been playing doll parts. But the past couple of months, no. Amanda doesn't even accept the invitations for the show anymore. She has me blocked.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, what the hell is this all about? So...
I don't know. I mean, and Stacy and Mandy can be like that. If you get on their bad side, that's the end. But you can get back on their good side. I think.
No. First of all,
if you want to.
No, first hold it. I haven't done anything wrong, so I don't have to bend over and kiss anybody's ass. Period. Period. And it just goes on and on and on. I mean, the fact that I have been in this music scene for close to 30 freaking years now, and I've never asked for anything. And the one time I asked to get on the guest list, it's like, it's like, and I show up at your gigs, and I bring my camera, and I take hundreds of photos, and I do it for you, and I also do it for the memory of my friend, Stiff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I always give the photos to you, the band, to use whatever you want. If you want to use it for Facebook or flyers or whatever I don't care. It's just that I want to document your shows, and everybody has a good time. And I'm just looked on like I'm a parasite. I went to a gig. I went to your gig at the Emerald. It was the last one I went to. And I got there early. And I just happened to have my broadcasting equipment in the car. And I walked in there, and it just hit me. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. I went to the bartender. I said, you guys have Wi-Fi? She goes, yeah. I says, great. I went up to those two bitches. Okay? Not
Don't
you.
sugarcoat it.
Not you. I went to those two bitches, and I said, hey, they've got Wi-Fi here. I says, I've got a high-definition camera. I says, if you want, I can set up my laptop and my camera, and we can stream this show live. Not only can we stream it live, but I can record it, and I can chop it up and put it on the Doll Parts Facebook page later on. They looked at me like I was a freaking leper. Not
God.
one word. And they turned their backs to me and walked away. And I said, wait a minute. And I looked at my wife because she was standing there. And I says, why am I extending myself to these people? Is it because of the memory of my friend? Is it because I think I'm doing something good for his wife and the record label and all the people associated with? Because I'm not getting paid for this. This is nothing. This is. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I think that was the last show I went to.
Well, it's such a sad story. I had no idea.
Yeah, all right. You sound so sympathetic. Thank
I
you.
care so much about your sad story.
She's looking at her watch right now.
That's so sad.
She goes, oh, that's so sad. It's almost time for Survivor. I got to go now. So, yeah.
Well, listen, I never have any guests that I put on the guest list, so just get in touch with me if you ever want. Now, you probably don't ever want to come to any of our shows if that's what's happening, but
I want to go, but I don't want to look at them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to be around them. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Wherever this gig is, let's say hypothetically they have Wi-Fi. I'm going to bring my setup, and I'm going to have the camera strictly on you. You're going to be on Ustream for the entire show. And when I break out the high-end Nikon camera, I'm taking pictures of just you. Just
Great.
you. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
Emily TV.
Great, my plan is working.
Bingo. Bingo. Remember, penis reduction surgery.
Yeah, what are you thinking? She can get you a discount on that? Or?
No. I'm just saying. She puts that story out. I want to help her. She's helping me. I want to help her. One hand washes the other.
Mick,
That's all
why
I'm
don't
saying.
you just say sex change surgery?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Exactly.
the reduction you're looking for.
Exactly.
Mangina.
Man,
No.
Maybe a man cave.
No, I'm just tired of all my entire adult life hearing, oh, too deep. You're going too deep. Ow. Ow.
Well, get off your brother and move on.
All right. So, hey, you ever thought about going solo or doing like a side project? Because I got a drum machine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking to do other things. You know, I've played in other bands, and
Cool.
all parts is always fun. But it's always nice to do different things.
All right.
So,
I'm going to send you some tracks. I'll attach it to an email, and I'll send it to you. You listen to it. It's not punk. It's going to be more of sort of like an industrial type thing.
Cool.
You know.
All right.
So, and we'll do a gig somewhere, and we'll piss off a lot of people, and life will be good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what it's all about. All right, Emily, we thank you again. Please don't be a stranger to the show.
Bye, Emily.
All right.
Tell
Thanks, Emily.
those other bitches that you had a great time.
Yeah.
I will.
And tell them,
Just like that.
Tell him you came down to the studio.
Tony, and not only that, but tell them because of you and your appearance, I played 2 Doll Parts sons tonight because of
heard
you.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody called in and requested another one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. It depends on how this penis reduction surgery story goes. You know, but all right.
Either
So.
that or Jan Terry. It's going to be one of those two.
All right, so I'll show up at one of the gigs. Just please put me back on your invites, and I'll show up, and it will be Emily TV all night long, and it's all about Emily, and I'm all cool with that. And tell those other bitches to keep their distance, okay?
Will do. Thanks a
Cool.
lot, guys.
All right, have a good night, Emily.
Bye, Emily.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.